The phrase, we are not our ancestors, how that phrase came to be, which I wonder where did it come from. I'm thinking it probably came from the conscious community. The phrase, we are not our ancestors, and how that could be looked at as disrespectful to our ancestors. And I'm going to explain myself. So, we hear this a lot when Kens and Karens come up against black people and they get what they deserve. And then next thing you know, the phrase will be in the comments, we are not our ancestors. You're going to F around and find out. And I just want to show or explain how that could be looked at as something else than what people are trying to actually say. What I think people are just trying to say is that they have pride in, who we have pride in who we are, and we're going to fight back regardless of whatever you may think we are. We're going to fight back, and we're not going to cower. We're not going to back down. You're not going to just do us any kind of way. That's what I'm thinking people are trying to convey when they say we are not our ancestors. Here's the thing. When you say that, it could be looked at, or a different perspective is that you're saying that your ancestors just laid down and took whatever was thrown at them, just bowed down, that your ancestors were weak, that your ancestors didn't fight back, which nothing can be further from the truth. Because if you do your research and you just look at all these massacres that have happened throughout the decades, black people, they fought back to the death. Black people always fought back. Black men got together, they rallied each other, and they fought back. Most of the time they lost, so they had to run away because they were fighting somebody that had more guns, that had the military and the police force behind them, that had the government behind them. So our people always fought back. Our people didn't lay down and die. You think about people like Nat Turner. You think about people like Toussaint Louverture. Black people always fought back. Everybody knows about Harriet Tubman. Black people always stood up and fought back. So when you say we are not our ancestors, what are you really saying? What are you really saying? That our ancestors were weak? That our ancestors, were cowards? Our ancestors wasn't none of that. So that, I feel like that could be looked at in a way as disrespect. Our ancestors were a strong people. And in my personal opinion, we're nothing like our ancestors. Our ancestors were pioneers, the first to do things, the first to stand up, the first people to fight back, the first people to speak out. A lot of our ancestors, they were like that. In today's time, you don't see a lot of that. In today's time, our people are more about self than they are for all black people. We're worried about individualism. We're worried about ourselves. We're worried about what we got going on, and that's what matters most. It ain't about the community anymore. Well, our ancestors loved and cared for their community, and they fought back. Like, our ancestors wasn't holding hands with everybody. They wasn't holding hands and protesting with everybody. You know what I mean? Our ancestors wasn't on stripper poles, selling their bodies, prostituting, twerking online, showing every Tom and Dick and Harry their body. Our ancestors had self-respect. They was a dignified people. Our ancestors wasn't, hurting one another and, having a disrespect for human life by killing one another like we do today. Our ancestors wasn't about that. Our ancestors had honor. They was a dignified people. You know what I mean? And we have the ability to be like our ancestors, but we was not better than them. We haven't reached those heights anymore. You know what I mean? So I think that, you could look at it in a way like, that's kind of that's not the right thing to say about our ancestors. Just say that you come from a long line of people that fought back. Don't say we are not our ancestors. It insinuates that they didn't fight back. They just laid down. They got hung. They got lynched. They got burned. And they just let it happen. They got spit on. People, it was Karens and Kens coming at them all the time. And they just let it happen. That's what it insinuates when you say we are not our ancestors. So I think people need to figure out something else to say other than that, because we are not our ancestors. They're right about that. Our ancestors were better than us. So let me know what you think about this video. Give me your thoughts and your opinions. And with that, this is Black Authentic Truth. Peace.